Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So we are the queens who talk about mad shit.
Yes.
And today we are talking about the word submissive and why we as women have a problem with that one little tiny word, submissive. So before we even get started and before we introduce ourselves, I'm just going to give you the quick definition, which Webster states what submissive means. So, submissive, ready to conform to authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. So, we're going to start talking about it, but let me introduce you to these ladies. We're going to start with...
My name is Ami.
Hi, I'm Jordan.
Hi, Jenny J.
Al.
Hi, I'm Munch.
So, now that you've met all the queens,
Introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is, my name is Jessica with a K. So, now that we have talked and,
I'm sorry.
Jessica
sorry.
with the K is fine. Ain't nobody had Jessica with the K. Come on, Jessica with the K is fine, okay? Don't play. I like the K, okay?
Okay.
Now, if you don't find me on Facebook, it's okay. All right? It's all right. You'll find me one day, all right? So, anyways, let's go back to this word submissive. So my question to you ladies is, what do you guys take on that word? Like, why is that an issue with when it comes to women, or do you think that's just an issue with modern women?
Okay, me.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing where I think the issue is. Times have changed, and when women used to be submissive to men, it was because men were being the breadwinners. They were the ones who went out, hunt, did all the work, and the woman was supposed to take care of her man once he got home. Now, in today's society, more women are working. And so it's hard for them to work and then still try to do everything that a wife is supposed to do for her husband, to be submissive. Not in the sense of cooking or anything else like that, but like in more so in the sense of, well, if I worked all day and if I had a bad day at work, I might not be in the mood to give you what you want or to do what you say do. And then, side note, I will also say that a lot of men nowadays do not know how to treat their significant other or their wives, and so you can't be submissive to just anybody.
That's true.
So, in the sense of, if you want, I can be submissive, but I gotta know that you're leading me in the right direction. I have to trust that you have my best interest at heart and you're not doing it just so it's an ego boost, which a lot of men, I think, do.
So my thing with this whole dumb submissive word is, do I have a problem with the word submissive? Yes. Because when I think of the word submissive, I think of a dog. Because you train a dog to be submissive to you. They have to obey you. They have to do what you're supposed to say, this, that, and the other. I once was fucking a guy, and it was supposed to be some sort of relationship. I don't know what it was. But because my mouth was, I'm going to use a word that you say that is not a word. Because my mouth was I was very boisterous.
That's not a word.
Anyway, I was very boisterous, and his whole thing was, we didn't make it because I need a man to put his hands on me to shut me up. I needed to be quiet when he was around or around his presence. So I'm like, so his whole thing is, when I come home, you want a woman to iron your drawers and this, that, and the other. First and foremost, I'm not your damn maid. And your dick didn't even satisfy me to the point where I want to sit down and iron the goddamn drawers. Like, I definitely have I have a problem with that word submissive, especially when it comes to relationships.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. Well, I'm married. So when I was single, I was the one who was in charge of everything in my life. I was in charge of the finances.
Right.
I bought a house before I got married. I had a child before I got married. So I was running everything in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was a boss at work. I was the boss at home. People looked at me to ask if they can borrow and all this stuff like that. So I was a boss. So when I got with my husband and we were, dating, and then, we eventually got married, I had to learn how to step back a little bit, because you have to let a man be a man. And
So even with you stepping back,
okay,
you being a woman, like you was already a boss.
yes,
Like,
but
so-
let me tell you, you can be a
Y'all
boss,
make
but at the same time, you got to let your man. Let's be real.
No man
Oh.
wants to be a bitch.
Right. No man wants
But
to.
neither does a woman
At
either.
the same time, no man, it depends on the woman, but you have to let your man lead regardless. Like, okay, when I talk to my husband and I ask, what you think I should do? You think I should do something with this, or you think I should do that? I'm asking him for his personal opinion. I'm asking him for his advice. And at the end of the day, I make a decision if I want to do whatever. And then I think about why he said what he said to see if it made sense the way he said it.
Yeah.
One day we were in a car, and I'm like, I always stand up for myself. So we're in a drive-through, and the person gave me the wrong meal. And I was just fussing, and my husband was like, I felt like he was talking too slow, right? I felt like he wasn't explaining what I needed,
Right.
And I was like, no, we got to do this. And he turned around, and he's not a violent person. He doesn't like to argue. And he turned around and he told me to shut the fuck up. And I sat back, and I was like, thought about it, and I kind of liked it.
What you turned
Yes, man.
I kind of liked it. And at that point, I was like, okay. And that's when I started to really learn. I'll tell you about me. When I grew up, it was my mom. My mom was the boss. I didn't have my dad in the household. The women were the boss. My grandfather
So you
passed
had
away.
to learn from him.
Well, it's not even about, it's not, I didn't see that growing up. That wasn't in my house. So when I
But
got with my
even-
husband, I had to learn it.
Yeah.
And it's what the Bible says,
But
the
it
man is
is.
the head of the household.
Yeah,
And
but
I think it goes, okay, so everybody can repeat Bibles, this and the other, but in my mind, I have certain issues with what everything the Bible says. I
me
do.
too.
Like, you can't tell me this man is leading the house and he's disrespecting me and he's not even bringing in hardly
And
no
that's
money.
when you
So
have to
basically,
break it down.
I'm not about to be sit up here and,
Right.
that you be the king of the house and you not,
So going back to what
and
you
you
said.
not being
No,
king material.
Going back to what you said,
Right.
people think independent. If I be submissive, that means I'm losing my independence. That's not what it says.
Right.
You're not losing independence. Like she says, like a man, they wire differently than us. So women, we take care of everything. But you still have to let the man at least. I don't want to say at least feel like he the man, but let him be what he's supposed to be. Be the leader of the household. Be the protector, the provider. You can still have your job and everything and stuff like that. That doesn't make him anything less of a man. But he's supposed to be the ultimate, the head of the household. So, like you said, when he was like, when y'all was having an argument about your food or something like that, and he stepped in like, okay, this is my woman, I'll make sure that she good. He's trying to make sure nobody disrespect you, whatever. I see that she get frustrated. Let me step in as a man, and let me handle this. Shut the fuck up. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, somebody probably have an issue with you with him saying that
But
to
he
you.
said that.
But regardless. Like I said, submissive does not
Something
mean
like
you
that would
losing
turn me on,
independence.
too.
I can't do with you. And then me being married, like when I got married young, so I was 20 years old. So I did still have the mentality to like be submissive. Like I don't have to listen to them. Like I just came from my parents' house, had to listen to their asses. It's my first time being away from home. I'm not listening to nobody. I'm gonna do what I want. So it took me a while being married and young. It took me a while to now know what that term being submissive is. It's like your husband taking care of you, but in turns you taking care of him too. So it's not just about be in the house and washing dishes, all that. That doesn't tie into the submissive part. Just like when you flying a damn plane, you have the pilot, but he can't do nothing without the co-pilot.
Yeah.
Something happened. The pilot is flying the plane, everything, whatever. But if he need to go take a bathroom break or whatever the hell, the co-pilot right there to take over. It's the same thing, same concept.
Well, I agree, but I want to add this in, and as you get to know your partner, we all know women and men are too different. We think differently. Our emotions and their emotions are totally different. But the one thing that I do want to admit to, like, a good woman could make her man think that he's in charge, or think that he came up with the idea of what she wanted him.
Am I the only one drinking?
No, I sip every now and again.
And that don't mean that you lose your brain or your
Right. No, I ultimately think that that's like the smartest shit to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, baby, that was a good idea, but you know, you planted that seed for him to.
And then he know too.
Pull that.
And he thank you for like, okay, it was my idea, but like, damn, my woman's smart.
Just
She
like,
really came up with
you
that.
heard I'm sorry.
For me, submissive is like, I'm thinking about not only just like doing stuff, but in the bedroom too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be submissive in the bedroom because I like
And
that.
not me. I'm dominant. Like, okay. So the bedroom
Well, let her
situation.
finish.
Okay, my
She
bad.
was the only one
I'ma
that
just
had
sit.
to talk.
Yeah, you dominant. Yeah.
I mean, because I be respecting people's
Shade.
but in the bedroom, I'm gonna be submissive. I'm like, take over, yes. But just like you said, I feel like it's an equal thing, and we have to plant those seeds for them to feel like, oh, okay, even though I work and my husband, he's retired now and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like, I'll come home and if we're having dinner, I give him his plate first. He eats first, and then I give my son his plate, and then I eat last, or whatever have you. And people are like, oh, why you do that? Well, that's how I was growing up, because we go back to what you said, social norms at the end of the day. Society really does in place in us how we live. But honestly, we don't go outside of that.
Yeah.
With you saying that, I see a lot on social media when they say, who eats first? The father, the kids.
I've seen that.
So with me, in my house, I fix Phoenix plate first because that's, the food is hot. I fix her plate first with cool off first. Then I just put everybody else's food on the plate and then we all sit down and eat together. I don't give him his plate first. Now, my son is growing up. My son is 15 years old, so he eats like a grown man. But before, I used to load my husband's plate up and then I give my son smaller portions, my daughter. But my son eats so much, he eats like a man, a man. So I just load 2 men's plates and then I fix, I have me and my daughter. But nobody eats first in my house. We all sit down and eat together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do
Yeah.
fix the kids.
Eat
So
together.
I fix the kids' plates first. But that's just me.
Right.
Like when I cook, I usually, because how it usually goes for me, when I cook, my husband's somewhere else. So he's either upstairs or he's outside or whatever. So for me, after I'm done cooking, I'll plate everybody's plate up, tell Jalen, Jabari, and Josiah come eat. And then I will take my husband wherever he is.
I think you just do whatever works for your house.
You do whatever works for your household.
Oh, you should do this.
I do the man first because I grew up in the man is the one that works for everything. So I'm not going to feed a child before I do the man that been working for it. And then the child, it didn't be.
Probably gotta call them. Come downstairs. They upstairs playing anyway.
Right.
But we still sit down, we'll eat together. But
I
he
fix
is
all
the
plates
first plate
at the
that's
same time.
there on that
Right.
table.
But like
But
you
I
said,
understand.
was it you
I
who
fix
said
all the plates at the
social
same
norms?
time.
Yeah, the social
You have the
norms.
social,
Yes.
because everybody is different. Just like, we are all strong, independent women. You know what I'm saying? And we have, we make our own money. We're used to being a certain way. We speak our minds. We're in charge of our children and stuff like that. But in my house, when it comes to me and my husband, I respect him, and he respects me. We'll have our arguments or whatever, But you know, in my house, it's not so much about being submissive and you got to do this, you got to do that, like the kitchen work and stuff. That's just how it works in my house. My husband doesn't do the dishes. I don't expect him to do the dishes. When my son is home, that's one of his chores to do the dishes. If my son is doing his homework and it's going to be a late night, I do the dishes. Why? Because I don't have to get up so early in the morning like I used to. So I don't mind, you know, knocking the dishes out because I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock and, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to be submissive when you being submissive to the right person.
And
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as
Right.
you being submissive to the right person,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's some men
And
that
that's-
take that word submissive and be thinking, oh yeah, this my bitch or whatever. No,
Right.
motherfucker,
Right.
that's not how it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So when you with the right person, it's easy
Right.
to give in and he give in
Yeah.
to you too.
But
So
just,
does-
just
is-
one more snippet of that. In a relationship, I feel like a healthy relationship, I feel like even if it's with same-sex relationships, or we're talking about a man-woman or a female-male relationship, I feel like as the woman, I think that for it to work, you can be a tough woman. We can look at a really strong, independent woman like Beyonce. But at the same time, I feel like she has to be, not have to,
She said in her song,
yeah,
what she said?
you have to submit to your man. And I feel like that will work because you have, just because, okay, you can't say, oh, it's going to make you feel like a man if I listen to you, if I submit. Submitting is not about being beneath. Submitting to me also has to do with respect. And also you want your man, your husband, the social norms, your husband to feel like the man. I can't stand a man who just let somebody walk over him, man, woman, whatever.
A pushover.
A
Because at the end of the
pushover.
day, I've had those, and I'm gonna get bored of shit. Like I'm gonna eventually leave your ass.
Right.
So we're talking about the submissive. So submissive has to go more. We hit it for like 2 seconds. Submission in the bedroom. Being submissive in the bedroom.
Yeah.
One person that I know me, and I had to calm that down. Look, let me tell you something. You want my legs up because you want to eat my cootie cat and my booty hole. I want your legs up too because I'm that type of person. I want to feel like you're a bitch at times. And there is someone
And
that
that's
are like
okay.
that.
Just
and
you have to
that's
get the
just
right
too
guy
me.
that's okay with
And
that.
that's fine. And I
Yeah.
don't think that guy is gay or nothing. Do you know that behind the balls, like right near
That's
their
the most sensitive
asshole,
area.
they're sensitive as shit right there. So yeah, I try a lot of shit. So I mean, I'm the single one. It is what it is. So if I want your legs up at times, like I like to be dominant. I like to ride. I like your legs to be up. I don't like you to be like, oh, let me hit it from the back. Yeah, baby, who this? Who? No, bitch. First of all, we're gonna flip this role, okay? You're gonna be calling my name. I like that at times, and I like to be submissive. I like for the bedroom part. I like it to be kind of
A healthy balance.
even ground, especially like when we're
But-
drinking and
but
drunk
I
and stuff
think
like
that.
that.
I saw for me.
I like it to be
I think that
even
it should
sometimes.
be like that across the board, not only in the bedroom, but just everywhere. Because just like the ladies said earlier, being submissive is not like being beneath. It's a respect thing. So ultimately, if you're respecting each other, you're submitting to one
Yeah,
another.
exactly.
Nobody is above anybody. We're just being respectful of each other and what each other.
So what about them one night stands? Is there submissive in the one night stands? When you're fucking?
If you're just doing it just because you having fun, no.
Because
you
I'm
can't take
still on
that
the bedroom type.
Yeah.
I say this too, as far as submitting to each other, right? But in public, you can't talk down to your mate.
Oh, no.
I mean,
But
of course, I agree with
that's
that.
to me, that's not about it even.
That's just
submissive.
That's just
Yeah.
respect. That's just
Like,
respect.
Like when I leave, if we have an argument, when we leave the house, you won't even know it.
Yeah.
You probably pick it back up when we get back
Right.
or whatever.
And
But
that is one thing that I know that I have prided myself on, as far as like, even if, and it don't even have to be my husband. It could be friendships. If you my friend, if you my husband, I'ma ride with you in public. But when we get behind closed doors, nigga, you was wrong as shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Munch, your ass was wrong.
Yeah.
And but I would never make a scene or call you out in front of other people. What I have to say to you is for you. But again, that's like I can honestly say, if anybody ask my husband what is the one thing that he loves about me, and he says, "You are my voice of reason." That's what he's always told me. Like, you always let me see things from another aspect. Like, you always show me another way of looking at the world that I didn't even think about. So, who's closing?
So yeah. So
So in closing,
What did you say?
'cause
So that was fun, ladies, right? Okay. So we had a good discussion about what being submissive means. In the comments, you can let us know what you agree with, disagree with. And until next time, this
what do you
is.
think submissive is? What they think?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and what you think submissive is. Like I said, if you agree with any one of these ladies' opinions about it, or if you disagree and what your take is on it. So again,
Mahalo.
yes,
till next week.
Queens, we talk about mad shit.
Yes.
Peace.
Next episode.
Oh, stay tuned for the next episode, which will be.
I don't know. Hold on.
Stay
wait.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Okay, we'll be back.
Stay
We'll be
tuned.
back. We'll be back.